Hello, everybody. Welcome, you guys. There are lots of you coming into this room. Hello, hey, Holly. You made it. Sorry about the technical issues. It wouldn't be the rewrite if we weren't having technical issues here. It just wouldn't be. All right. Hey, Caro and Brandy. People, I'm going to assume it's a nickname. Janet, iPhone 13 Pro Max. Always one of those at the party. Patty, Zoom user. Carrie, Stephanie, Christine, Frank, Desiree. Another Zoom user, Hunter, Kathy Kirby, Catherine, Zoom user, Jessica Erickson. You are the faces of what I see today, okay? You guys are on my front screen, so I'll be watching all of your faces to know whether or not everything's driving. You know what I'm saying? If things are working. So go ahead in the chat. Tell us where you're from. Put your state in there real quick while we get a bunch of people in. I do want to start off with that. We know that the text did not tell you guys the Zoom link, and we actually had so many people register for this that we maxed out on the amount of text messages we can send. So we cannot text anyone today on our CRM system. At the halfway part of our program, of our workshop today, I am going to share with you guys about what we do here at the Rewrite. I'll try and do it in less than like 5 minutes. I'm not really here on that part, but it is an opportunity for us to run down our program here on this call. And if you decide to move forward, we will still be able to reach out to you guys today, but anyone else who's just like having a general conversation with Amanda or with Ashley on our computer system, you will hear from us tomorrow. Tomorrow. We hit the max, which was good because then it means we can message more people on our back end now. So thanks for pushing us into uncharted territories on the day of the workshop, of all days to do it. Okay, we've got people all over the country here. Boulder City. I'm out here in Las Vegas. I don't know if we have any other Vegas girls on here. Wisconsin. I'm originally from Wisconsin. I'm in Vegas. I've been here for the last 12 years. So cool. We got almost every state represented here, which I love. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to kick us off with going over how this workshop is going to operate today. And then I'm going to introduce you to all the key players. And then I'm going to play like a 2-minute video about some clients who've been here before. And then I'll also remind you multiple times throughout today's recording that I am not your doctor. I am not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian. Everything that we say here today is based on experience. Anything regarding to like your lab works, I'm not the person for it. Supplements, find one that you can swallow and keep down, okay? Like those are not the things that I really like to give a lot of direction on. You've got some weird intestinal thing going on. Let's call the surgeon. Let's not ask the girl from social media about it, okay? All right, let me share my screen. Okay, rules of today's workshop. This is going to be a live Q&A. So there is a lot of you guys today here, so this is going to be exciting. So live Q&A, which means that when I tell you to, you're going to raise your hand on the app here. We will take your questions one at a time, okay? I will be sharing my screen. Sometimes we're going to look at ingredients together, maybe look at my FitnessPal, AI, all of that fun stuff. I want to answer your questions face to face. It's so much easier when I know your story versus some of the questions I get asked in my DMs. This is sort of how we've been doing our workshop for the last couple of months, and this seems to get the most like out of it for you guys versus me like sharing my fucking screen for a little bit on, you know, some boring subjects that might be irrelevant to you, okay? It is going to be kind of, you know, hot seat coaching. I do swear. So if you are new to that, if that's new to you, just prepare. I have a potty mouth, okay? And I'm a recovering drug addict and alcoholic. And I do play a lot of that into how I coach today. So sometimes I say things that might not make sense to someone who has not gone to pits of hell with their drinking, but just to bring it to the relation to the way you eat as well, okay? And if you got your camera on, just be dressed. That's all we ask. I don't care where in your house you're at. I don't care if you're in your car. I just don't want to see any titties on today's call. We seem to have never had a workshop for 2 years that does not have titties. So I'll check your cameras right now because one of you guys is guaranteed to have a titty sitting out, okay? And not only will I talk about our programs for a few minutes, we do have a special for our programs right now. And the recipe fix, if you have not gotten it, I do have a discount code at the very end that is only good for a couple of hours today. So that's what's in it for you to sit through this whole shabam, okay? The rules. Camera on when you ask a question, okay? I want to see your pretty little face. Use the hand raise button when you're ready. I'll tell you when. Don't do it yet. I want to tell you when, okay? Please stay muted unless I call on you. No cross-talking, meaning if someone's coming on and has something to share, don't just like unmute yourself and insert, put it in the comments, okay? If you do have some questions, Nicole here, she's going to do a really great job of kind of collecting the questions that come in and letting me know and guide me, because sometimes people can't figure out how to do the raise hand thing. Sometimes people can't come on camera, and we still want to get to your questions, all right? This is a judgment-free zone. All of us here are mentally ill. None of y'all skipping that chapter here. Every single one of you, okay? There's nothing you're going to ask me today that haven't been asked before. There's nothing you're going to tell me today that's going to blow me out of the water. We've heard and seen everything. And part of the goal with these workshops is to normalize what is the fuckery between our fucking ears post-op, okay? Is to normalize it. So we're going to have some very dynamic conversations today, all right? A little rundown about me. I had my surgery 3.5 years ago. I feel like if you're here, you know my story. You know it very well. I started the Rewrite 2.5 years ago when I realized that the post-op support for bariatric patients was a fucking joke. We now have a full team here. We are a member of the American Metabolic and Bariatric Surgeries Association, which is probably the same place that your surgeon is a member to, right? I'm a functional nutrition counselor, meaning that I like to use medicine to support some of your issues. And yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I'm going to let Danae is not here. I will go ahead and introduce her today. Danae is, when you join our programs, you have 3 coaches here, but Danae and I are the 2 who don't have boundaries, unlike Nicole. So you have our cell phone numbers. And you text us anytime with any problems. It's one of the cool things about our program, okay? Danae came to me as a Regain client early last year. She was training for marathons and was putting on weight in that process. And we fixed the food. We fixed the relationship with food. She still tracks to this day. For those of you guys who are current clients of ours, you can maybe contest into the chat that she might be a bit more of a hard ass than I can be. But that's Danae in a nutshell for you, all right? And then Nicole, go ahead and introduce yourself there.
Okay, I'm Nicole or Nikki. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I think my boundaries are getting a little skewed because a few of you guys do now have my cell phone number. Some of you may be on this call. So I started with the Rewrite a while ago. I had bypass in 2023. I'm a therapist by trade. I'm licensed in my state. So for me, it was interesting that I thought it would be easier, but the mental health piece was really what was hard for me. That's what I liked about being in the community here when I had my stall. So I'm sort of here for all the emotional things that go on with the food noise and the life and the stress. And I run our weekly peer support group as well, in addition to just coaching and running some other calls for you guys on how to change your relationship with food, because for many of us it's been poor for many, many years.
Cool. All right. Ashley, oh no, your photo didn't save, Ashley. Oh, it's because I put it together and it was bound to happen. Look at that. Beautiful before and after. No before. There's Ashley. I'm going to let her unmute and introduce herself real quick. She can just show her own after. Go for it, Ashley.
Hey guys, I had gastric sleeve in March of this year and joined the Rewrite pretty much immediately. I was in my hospital bed, still under anesthesia, and I decided this is where I wanted to be. So I am the person who, like, when you're ready to roll, I'm going to tell you all about the program and get you the financing links and all of that good stuff and get you all set up and ready to roll.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley. A lot of you guys have had conversations with Ashley already, so it's nice to be able to put a face to that person. Helen, I think Helen's on here. Are we here, Helen? I think I saw you sneak on in.
I'm here.
Yes, Helen, go ahead and introduce yourself and Evie, because I don't believe she's here.
No, guys, so I'm the UK coach with Evie. Evie's on holiday at the moment, but we run the peer supports on a Saturday and a Sunday at 9 a.m. PST, so you'll see us if you are over there. We are UK based, but we are both coaches. I had my surgery June 2024, but had worked with Shenelle since October 23, and she was my absolute savior at persuading me to surgery in Turkey. Otherwise, I would not be here. So yeah, I am now just over 100 pounds down, still got another 20 pounds to lose, but I am getting there. And yeah, look forward to getting to know you all.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys, let me see if this is going to work properly. Probably not. Ah, I don't know what happened there, but let's get back to it.
Neil, I don't think anybody can hear.
Oh, you guys can't hear it? Oh no.
No.
Well, I'm gonna do us a favor and just catch it up because you can watch it later on we have it on our website. Those two girls, there's actually 3 of them from that program that are in that, and then a couple other ones. They all came to me before their surgery in September of 2023. They all ran a half marathon together in Chicago 2 months ago. And they only did a 4-month program here. Our programs are really short. I don't want you to ever feel like you have to be on the nipple of someone living up your asshole, because that person up your asshole should just be you, right? So those girls came here right before their surgery. They've collectively lost over 550 pounds together out of their group. There was 5 of them in that group. I think 4 of them are in that video. And then Cody is also in that video. Cody is a client of ours who came before his surgery as well. A male client of ours, 450 pounds. We had 3 months to prepare him for surgery. We got him down to 375 day of surgery without living on protein shakes. He only did the pre-op diet, I think it was 12 days prior. We lost all of that by transitioning to a whole foods diet. And he is under 200 now, which for a dude is pretty phenomenal. Pretty phenomenal. We work with people who are pre-op and post-op. So although those were some of our pre-op people, there's a lot of people here in the chat today who are in our post-op programs or part of our post-op programs. There's no bad time to come to the rewrite, but if I got to be selfish and picky, I would say come before your surgery. Okay, because if we can start laying a really solid foundation, I think you're better off. Because if anyone is on here and has regained some of their weight since their surgery and went back and slipped into some old habits, that like perfectionist brain that we live in loves that idea that we fucked up, right? Because where's that clean slate now? You know, a lot of people go into surgery thinking that's going to be their clean slate. All right, let's go ahead and open it up for Q&A. Go ahead and raise your little hand raising button on Zoom. We'll call on you guys one-on-one. Me and Nicole will kind of tag team this together based on the kinds of questions that you guys have. And this will be a very long workshop if nobody's raising their hands. I'm just going to point that out right now. There's 185. We're not gonna rip your heads off.
Someone did ask in the chat, how soon pre-surgery do you prefer they come?
Perfect question, Sammy. There is no wrong answer here again, because we actually work with some girls who have intentions to have surgery, and then the wonderful joys of the insurances postpone that or ultimately cancel it, and we continue to work with them under any of those circumstances. Our program's a lifestyle program. So the things that I'm going to teach Holly here, because I can see her face, who's a client of ours, are going to be the same things that I have been teaching Janine, who's on here, and Janine just had her surgery. She's been with us for for over a month and a half before. It's the same playbook, because the only thing that changes really are the portion sizes. First few months are annoying. You're going to be eating fucking, shakes and shit like that. But 20% of what we do is food related. If we all knew how to, if we're just missing a piece of recipe or macro, we'd all solve this problem. Am I right? I think that we constantly think it's just a meal plan that I need. It's an exercise regimen I need. It's so much deeper than that. We need a complete overhaul, a complete rewrite, hence the fucking name here, All right, I got some questions coming in. Let me start with, I think Latricia, go for it, dear.
Okay, so my question would be, and I guess probably my biggest thing is quieting the food noise.
Yes.
How do you go about doing that? That's a big struggle for me.
Are you pre-op or post-op?
I am post.
Post-op, how far post-op?
I am a year and 4 months.
Year and 4 months, okay. What did you eat yesterday?
Yesterday, I did eat a little of jambalaya with cabbage.
Okay.
And I had drank a protein shake with coffee.
Okay.
And I had a little fruit, and that was actually all I did yesterday.
Okay. So a couple of things. You're not eating enough, right? So
Mm-hmm.
food noise, I think, comes from two different directions. The first
Mm-hmm.
direction, it comes from a nutrition deficiency. So if your body's not getting what it needs, it's going to cue to be hungry. And how we interpret that cue is where the mental part comes in, right? I think the best example of this is nighttime. How many of us are craving something sweet at night? What's
Yeah.
really happening is we're tired and our body is like, listen, if we're going to be up scrolling social media tonight, I need some food, please. And then we're like, oh my God, I'm eating peanut butter out of the jar and I don't know why. Right. And that's just, we need to go to bed, really is like the reality. The second thing though, is that when we have things regularly in our diet that are artificially sweetened, for some of us, and I think that anyone who's metabolically sick, you are the sum of us, right? That we don't process that correctly. The tongue is the first point of digestion. Whatever the tongue tastes, it tells the rest of the body to prepare. So when you have, like, I'm just going to use a protein shake as an example here, where we have sucralose and acesulfame potassium, right? Two artificial sweeteners right out of the gate. We have that. It's very sweet. The body or the tongue tells the body, we've got some stuff coming. There's sugar coming. So our body starts to prepare for sugar. And then nothing shows up. And it's like you become the boy who cries wolf on this. And it doesn't make sense naturally because we've all been sugar-free. A lot of us are type 2 diabetics. And we've been told from our nutritionist and dietitian that sugar-free is the replacement, right? How well did it work? If a lot of us are still having to go through the aspects of weight loss surgery and food noise, right? So I always tell people, if you've got the food noise, you got to first cut the sugar and the artificial sweeteners out. You got to. And whether or not you bring them in and you can control them moderately, that's to be determined, but cut there first off. And then you kind of are like a wounded animal. You're not going to be able to cope in the way that you don't realize you're necessarily trying to cope. And you have to feel the emotions. And that's like the fun work to me. Like that's where the life-changing stuff happens. Like start, I think on Facebook, I had mentioned a post that I said I would briefly talk about this, but like inventory, right? Start inventorying what pisses you off. Like these little things. The example I use with my clients all the time is the husband says he's gonna clean the kitchen up for you tonight so that tomorrow you have a fresh start, and then he doesn't do it. He forgot. He was tired. And then we immediately point blame and then go to the drive-through, right? And then he says, are you mad? What's going on? Why are you being so weird today? I'm fine. Like we just hold these arguments in our head. We don't have them with people. And these things start to add up where that thinking is, I just have to find the quick fix. Really, that's just the addict looking for that crack in the system. So I would remove those foods first and foremost, and then start with something like inventory. It's not just like those two things will solve your whole problem. Like my life is a cumulative of a massive amount of things. And the things that I'm doing today, I wasn't doing a year ago or 2 years ago. Like it constantly builds up on itself, How I saw somebody on Facebook this morning post about how she couldn't successfully do the hard 75. So she was going to do the soft 75, right? Things like that are just stupid bullshit to me because we cannot just all of a sudden write up a couple of fucking intense rules and just jump into it. You have to start with one thing at a time. And so like if it's just removing the shakes and the artificial sweeteners and seeing how we feel, start there. And then start seeing you're agitated all the time, start looking at that, what is, and start seeing you have poor planning skills and start to build off that. But if we try to be these women that like, we come up with this dream scenario, we can never commit to it very long, ever.
And the thing is with me, Shenelle, like yesterday, how that was like that. It's like I swing back and forth where either I'm not getting in enough or there's those days where I am constantly snacking or eating on something. And it's like I'll tell myself, okay, we have to stop. But then I notice another day, I'm right back in that same cycle.
So tracking the food too and having timing, right? Like right now I'm lifting. For the last 3 weeks, I've been in this lifting regimen. It's requiring me to eat 6 times a day, 1,600 calories, 160 grams of real protein. It's a lot. I'm eating practically all day. And I'm not a huge fan of it. And like, just because it's not like, I don't know who would be a fucking fan of it. I'm not. I'm just doing it because I'm getting married right now. Okay, guys, I got some goals. Like, this isn't going to be long term, that's for sure. But I have to like plan it. Like I had to get up at 5 this morning to have my breakfast in before I got to the gym. And so I come home and eat. I had some calls this morning. I was eating on my calls this morning. This is scheduled to be off at 12:30 or at noon, and then I'm off to taste at my wedding menu tasting, and that'll be my third meal. I have to come home. I have to eat again. I have this thing I'm going to tonight. I'm going to bring my own food with me. I just have to plan it out. I got to stick to a schedule so that my body can start to learn to trust it as well.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, dear. All right. Next to bat. All right. We have got, I think I'm going in the right order. Yes, Charisse. Go for it, dear. Oh, let me see if you're able to unmute.
Hi, can you hear me?
We're good to
Okay.
go.
Okay. So I had sleeve surgery in May. I've only lost 20 pounds. 6 of that was fluid that I gained while I was in the hospital, so I don't even count that. I've
Okay.
been tracking my food. I've been eating the protein. I've been getting the 64 ounces of fluid, water. I've been walking or swimming at least 30 minutes a day. And I'm just at a point where I want to cry all the time because I feel like a big fat loser, because I don't know what else to do.
All right. Let's start with a few questions. What was your weight going into surgery?
Going in, it was like 257, and then I was like 265 the next day when I came home, I guess, from the fluid and everything. And currently, I'm 245, and I've been at 245 for a month.
What's your height?
5'5".
Okay. And are you tracking your food anywhere?
Yes, I've been writing it down because I'm old school and that works better for me. But the last 2 days, I said, you know, what the hell? I'm going to try doing it online again. So I've been doing it on Carb Manager on my phone the last 2 days. And to be honest, I've been eating like I'm supposed to, honestly, up until the past week and a half. And I've said, you know, I'm just going to see what happens. So the last week and a half, I've just been kind of eating what I want to eat. I've been eating cookies in the middle of the night. I've ate some cheese breadsticks. I've ate things I shouldn't have, and I've not gained a pound or lost a pound.
Okay. So the scale's been stalled for a month. We had surgery back in May. So I would go to Carb Manager and start tracking like a more productive day than that. Okay. And look at how much food you're getting in. I don't know what your heart rate's getting up to when you're walking and doing the swimming, but it may be too much. It may be too much. Sometimes we bite off more than we can chew with jumping into the gym, and we're taking 800 calories in, and that's also going to stall you. And it doesn't make any sense because we're so low calorie, and everyone talks about being in a deficiency. If you're in too much of a deficiency, you're not going to lose weight, right?
Yeah.
I would make sure you're starting with 20 grams of protein in the morning for breakfast before, like, within an hour of waking up.
Okay.
And not with a
So
shake.
like on a good day, when I was doing good, let me tell you a good day.
Yeah.
I'd have a salad, a yogurt, a ham wrap, 2 eggs and sausage, and that came up to about 1,000 calories and 72 grams of protein.
Okay.
And that
So
was
it's
what
pretty low in protein. Go for 100 grams. Get the ham wrap. What are you wrapping that in?
one of those 0 carb,
Toss it.
Okay.
It's an empty, dumb thing. I wouldn't introduce that stuff till like your post-op. Okay. The yogurt, what brand are we using?
I've tried several different things. I can't think of the name of it, but it's got like 80 calories, 12 grams of protein. I can't think of the name of it. I can't think of the name.
Go buy plain Greek yogurt and buy some extracts, vanilla, almond, throw some fruit in there. Okay. If it's 80 calories and 12 grams of protein, it's probably got some artificial sweeteners in it. I'm assuming it's flavored, right?
Yeah.
So cut out all the artificial sweeteners. Okay. I would not start your morning with a salad. There's probably no way you're getting 20 grams of protein in the morning. It's early post-op with a salad. Okay. The 2 eggs is great, but mostly you've got 72 grams of fat or protein. But if I had to guess with the eggs and the ham. And did you put a salad dressing on that salad?
The low fat, it's like 10 calories and low fat. Yeah.
Do you know what the brand is?
No, but it's like the popular brand that comes in a round bottle at Walmart. I can't think of the name of it.
Is it Primal?
No. Mm-mm.
No, Primal would have calories. It sounds like it's the if it's 10 calories, it's that fucking what is it called, guys? I don't think it's Wishbone.
Mm-mm.
Walden. Yes, Walden. Walden is just like it's a weird science experiment, man. A weird science experiment. For a salad dressing to be 10 calories means that it's just a concoction. Because if you're gonna make a salad dressing, you're gonna use olive oil. You might use your own balsamic. There's gonna be like 120 to 150 calories. Not that those are bad calories, but I think your problem is in the amount of probably artificial sweeteners you don't realize you're taking in a day.
Okay.
So I would cut them for 2 weeks. You've done crazy or fucked up shit for 2 weeks, right? So 2 weeks, no artificial sweeteners, 20 grams of protein in the morning. And I would aim for a minimum 1,000 calories.
Okay.
And
So how
100
much
grams of
protein should I really be getting? Because I think they said like between 60 and 80, but is that enough
That's
if
the
I weigh
standard.
245 pounds?
Probably not. I would go higher. I mean, the thing is that none of them have the same answer. Like, we had a surgeon on our community the other day, and she was like 100 grams minimum. Like, that's the minimum. You listen to Dr. Clapp, he's going to say 60 to 80. Like, none of them say the same shit because there is no post-op universal protocol to follow. So they give these very generic one-size answers. So if you're finding that 70 is keeping you stuck, why don't you first? I would first work on those other things, cutting out the artificial sweeteners and the ultra processed foods, and less fatty foods. So if you're gonna have the eggs, then the sandwich, maybe do chicken, right?
Okay.
If you want to have the ham, then have the eggs as egg whites. Just make that swap, okay?
Okay, I'll try
All
that.
right. Awesome. All right, Kimberly, go for it, dear.
Hi, good morning.
Hello.
I am 3.5 years post-op bypass. I lost 120 pounds. I am up 30 now. I really went off track. Food noise has been insane. I started retracking. I started following a fitness plan. Nothing seems to help, but it seems like my biggest thing that I'm struggling with now is perimenopause. How do I navigate all that and still be successful with this and not lose my mind with the perimenopause?
So with the perimenopause aspect of it, this is even more cause to making sure that we're eating the right types of foods and that we're eating real foods, that we're having breakfast in the morning. Cortisol plays a huge functional role in perimenopause. And if you don't have breakfast in the morning, which none of us like breakfast here, like if I had to pull you guys, we all fucking hate it. It's like the first thing I ask all of my clients to do, and they look at me reluctantly. Like, fuck you. But you got to start with a good breakfast. You want to start regulating that cortisol in the morning, right? I would go with retracking your food for 2 weeks and make sure that you're not eating anything ultra processed and make sure you're eating clean, and then fold in a fitness plan. Do not jump in to the whole thing. Like, that's just like what we do. I think Latricia said it earlier. Like, I go in and out, right? And that's our protocol. We're either fucking off, right? Or we're like dieting. We're in a diet mindset. We've been doing this since we were teenagers.
Yeah.
The way to be successful is to unlock the woman in the middle who works through the nuts and bolts of life happening, with like work throwing you off, or someone having a car accident, or God forbid, but like somebody dies. Like, those are the moments that we're like, oh nope, can't take care of myself, fuck it all, right? But to really build to be flexible during those moments, you have to start small. Like the same thing about the Hard 75. Like, that's just us biting off more than we can ever fucking chew for 75 days. And then I rarely ever see someone complete the Hard 75. I see people complete some like fucked up version they'll recreate of the soft, but none of us can do like the actual thing because it's too much at one time. So I would just start with logging for 2 weeks and no ultra processed foods. And I don't mean this condescending, but when I say no ultra processed foods, do you know what that definition means?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
If there's anyone here who doesn't know what is considered, Shirley asked. All right, cool. We use the NOVA food classification system here. You guys are all welcome to look this bad boy up. Classification. I don't know why I volunteered to type it in at my nails. All right, NOVA classification system. This, oh, did I lose you, Shirley? Okay. Or, yeah, I think I lost her. All right. Oh, she's still here. Okay. So, or Charisse, was that who else? I didn't write your name. Kimberly. Sorry, Kimberly. I was
Kimberly.
talking to. Did I
I'm
lose
still
you?
here.
Okay. You dropped down from where you were on my screen. So the NOVA food classification system was created in 2009 in Brazil. They were trying to figure out why people had more access to food, but why a particular population was gaining weight, and it was obviously a lower income population. They wanted to know why that was happening. But in order to truly like do that properly, they had to class food. And so they classed it into 4 categories. Category number 1 is a whole food, and this is also going to include eggs, okay? This is going to be vegetables, meat, you know, just normal shit as presented, right? The class number 2, group number 2 is going to be considered culinary, salt, sugar, fat, stuff that none of us would eat on its own, right? You mix 1 and 2 together, you get 3. 3 is a processed food. So if we took an apple from class 1 and we added some sugar and some cinnamon to it in class 2, what do we get in class 3? Applesauce, right? Applesauce. Now, we decide to add some artificial sweeteners or to add some chemicals into that. That's going to be class 4 ultra processed foods, which are going to be foods that have ingredients that you cannot buy in the grocery store, basically. This is the easiest way for me to look for it. So look at the back of the ingredients list. Is this currently in my Walmart, my Albertsons? You know, could you find it on Amazon? Probably. So don't count it as your Amazon order. Okay, you can buy anything on Amazon today, guys. But is it there? Could I make this easily in my house? And if the answer is no, I would move past from it, right? And if you want to ask me why, I don't have like the best answer for you other than that we just don't metabolize it correctly. Like that's just the easiest explanation. Some people can, because some people can sit around and have Little Debbie's and, you know, Starbucks caramel macchiatos every morning, you know, and we get in the comparison trap. Well, they do it and they maintain their weight. They have a whole different set of circumstances that we don't have, right? So anyhow, that's what the NOVA food classification system is. That's what we teach over here, and that's pretty much what anybody goes by who's talking about food addiction, or researching the quality of food, or talking about artificial sweeteners. Like that is the gold standard of definition. So hopefully I answered that. All right, cool. Sonia, go for it, dear.
Hello.
Hi, dear.
I am 8 weeks post-op.
Okay.
I started at 331 pounds, so I'm 40 pounds less. And I'm coming to where trying to see how to do a meal plan and trying to see a schedule, because when I'm at work, I get really focused at work. I can have my water jug in front of me and I don't even sip it. Having it in front of me, I still don't sip it until I'm like, oh shoot, I need to sip it. And I still struggle on getting in the 64 ounce. I already went up to 50 ounce, which is good.
Okay.
But also with the meals, I'm trying to see if I'm doing it right. I haven't been tracking. I don't even know how to start tracking or try to do one of the apps, which one is best. There's so many.
I would just use MyFitnessPal. That's what we use. Bariatric is it's complicated for us because we can't review our clients' logs. So we all use MyFitnessPal. We have our own app coming out probably realistically around December, early next year. Our clients have all trialed it. It's just gone into a developer now to be made, and it's specific not only for bariatric people, but for food addiction. But they're really easy, MyFitnessPal. And if you just had surgery, like 8 weeks post-op is an easy time to start tracking because it's really easy to track. You're not trying to make like these massive fucking concoction meals, right? But
No.
using ChatGPT as well. If anyone here doesn't have the recipe fix, I highly encourage you to get it. I'm going to drop the link. We made a code today. I think the code is just FIX, IFX. Takes a couple dollars off of it. But you're going to plug this into your AI. It's going to ask you a couple of questions, and it speaks in our language and teaches you how to eat in our language of what we preach and teach here at the Rewrite. So if you're trying to figure out how to like structurize your meals at work, this is something it will be able to help you do with. but you're going to need to set alarms. Okay. You're going to have to set alarms. How many here of you guys use alarms? Like a bunch of handfuls going up. Yeah. Yeah. And you can see a bunch of people are saying that the fix is absolutely amazing. Right. So grab that, guys, if you want. That code for $5 off is just good until like 2 o'clock today. PST time. PST. Okay. So if you haven't grabbed it, it's not monthly, it's a one-time charge. And you do not need the paid ChatGPT. You can use it free. Yep. Yep.
All right, perfect.
Hopefully those are like the generic questions I always get asked about that.
Also, what happened to me one time was, I don't know, I'm sure everybody have experienced it, and maybe that's a sign of you're full already. I just get this roaring noise in my esophagus, and then I stop eating.
Yeah, and you should then. You don't the runny nose, the hiccups, and the feeling here, the fullness is actually we've gone a little too far.
Okay.
That's like some of us look at those as like the big cues, but take it back a step. Okay.
Okay.
And it's all right now. If you're not hitting your 80 grams of protein right now at 8 weeks, like that's normal. Those are goals for a reason. We got to like work towards goals, right? They don't just get to happen overnight for us.
Yeah, I get kind of stressed over that. I'm like, oh, I didn't hit my goal. I didn't hit this. But then I kind of talk to myself. I kind of talk to my my brain too. Where my mom's like, "Are you talking to yourself?" I go, I have to talk to myself in order to be successful in the journey. So I'm glad I'm on here and hear everybody
Awesome.
else. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. All right, Jessica, up to bat. Let's hear it, lady.
All right. So I was writing a couple of things, but for me, I had ESG. I'm not sure if anybody else has had ESG. It's endoscopic sleeve gastroplasty rather than laparoscopic. I had that in 2023. My highest weight was 310, and I'm currently sitting at 290. Lowest weight was 260. So, for me, I noticed that I've got a lot of health issues, a lot of things that are going on. But the thing that I fight the worst, and I don't know why, and I wanted to see what you had to say. I have such a demand avoidance with tracking. I absolutely hate it. Even when I was doing relatively good on tracking my foods for MyFitnessPal and everything like that, it was one of the hardest things to do because it was such a mind F. And like, what do you tell clients when like they can't even do what seems to be like step one?
Well, I mean, I just tell the guys to fucking do it. Like, everything that you guys want in your life, this is for everybody. Doesn't matter if we're talking about tracking or not. Anything you want in your life is just on the other side of doing some shit you don't want to do.
Yeah. Okay.
We get really stuck in our heads. We become like paralyzed at times, right? And part of it is procrastination, which is like definitely a trait that we all have here. And partially because procrastination feels really good too when you say, I'm just not going to do it. Like when you say to yourself, you know what, I'm not tracking today, you get like a little bit of a dopamine hit. You're like, fuck yeah, I'm off the hook. I can do whatever the fuck I want today. Like, I'm not going to do it, right? It feels good for a second and then we regret it later. It's the same reason that we're going to eat something we shouldn't. We're going to pick a fight that we shouldn't, right? That we're going to overconsume an alcohol beverage, like whatever dumb shit we're doing. Like it's the same logic. Like we get this tiny dopamine hit and we're going to run with it.
I've got one other question because I know that you've talked about addiction as food addiction, but other addictions with your program and going forward. So I'm in a state that allows cannabis use. I am a cannabis user due to fibromyalgia and hidradenitis suppurativa. Kind of how do you deal with those things too?
Yeah. Well, we have a bunch of clients who are, I would say, more loosely on the self-medicated side of this one. And it's totally up to you. Where I have a problem at the Rewrite is just we do have some people who struggle with drinking, and we try to really kind of navigate that before we bring somebody on as a client, because that will just derail us. Drinking and bariatric surgery, drinking and obesity are just like not a combination that are cute. They don't work. And one way to, and I know you weren't talking about alcohol, but I will just mention, because there's going to be some people on here right now who have a problem with the bottle. When we're drinking, we are not burning fat. We are not burning any sort of weight loss, our body has to pause and stop and burn alcohol first. That has to be used before anything else can happen. Okay. So if we have like a fucked up metabolism already and we're just like gasolining it, right? And the statistics on transfer addiction, if you want to call it, mostly alcoholics, being an alcoholic after bariatric surgery for the sleeve, it's up, just depending on the study, up to 20% of people who have bypass are likely to become an alcoholic. I don't know how many of you guys would get on a plane that had a 20% chance of crashing. We wouldn't even fucking think about it, right? But alcohol does also go into our system differently after surgery, so we get drunk quicker and stuff. Now, weed, I sat through an ASMBS panel a couple months ago about this. There are no studies that show that weed causes regain. The only thing that they found as a problem with the weed was any sort of food habit that happened after consumption that's not controlled, right? So if you're getting the munchies from it, then, you know, that's essentially going to be a complication from you smoking the weed. So do I have the best advice for that one? Unfortunately, not really. You need to like be very manageable on your own account and accountable for it. If you know that you're going to take that gummy down or you're going to smoke and you're going to be hungry, then obviously plan to do that before your meal. Don't do that at 9 p.m. and then crawl into bed and scroll TikTok and be surprised, you know, at 10 o'clock how fucking hungry you are. Like, be strategic about it, right? But we definitely have girls here, Jess, that smoke, and I don't ride your ass about that, right? I don't. I do ride your ass if you guys are drinking a lot. That's, you know, that's a little bit of a different conversation. And no one else has presented me with any other drug abuse yet. I've never had anyone be like, what do you think of meth? Can I occasionally do it? All right. Thank you, Jess. Darlene, what's going on, dear?
Hello.
There you go.
Yeah, I had to come off mute. Hello, thank you for your time. So I am 11 months post-op from sleeve. I started like 267 and now I'm at 204, fighting my way to Wonderland. My thing is fueling for workouts.
Yes.
Like if I'm walking and I've added Pilates, what have you, and I'll be going strong. And then I guess by the fifth day out, I am exhausted. Like my labs are back. You know, I have, of course, my 1 year checkup next month, but so far labs are good. Everything's working. I attempt to make at least my 80 grams of protein a day. I don't know what I just can't count. Like, it's hard for me to keep an exercise regimen because I literally could go to bed at 7 o'clock at night and sleep the night through, and the next day I'm exhausted. And then I'm struggling to get through. I'm exhausted all the time, just struggling to get through.
How many calories are you taking in a day?
I get about 1,000, between 1,000 and 12.
Okay. So for what kind of working out are you doing?
My daily walking, I was going to the gym, and then my postmenopausal body was not happy. Like, I would have the gym ache the next day trying to lift, things of that nature, in addition to my walking. So I would get up and walk 3 days a week and then do my gym workout twice a week. So I had to let that go and I switched to Pilates because I don't have that gym pain afterwards.
Okay. I would go a little higher on the calories. I mean, make sure that 1,200 is the minimum
Okay.
for that. Okay. But it sounds like you're doing a really good job, and just build off of a foundation at this point, right? Don't beat yourself up if you can't make it to the gym every day, because right now, like the version of you right now, because I think I talked to you last year, the version of you right now is vastly different than last year. Like, you going to the fucking gym at all was not up for a conversation, right? So like, you're doing all those things now. And so just continue to build on that. Start with the Pilates, man. Have fun with that. Get weird with it. And then if you get bored with that, or you want to add more into it, just build off of that.
Okay.
Right? So I think you're going the right direction. I would just go a little bit higher though on your count.
And I have another question. My obsession with nuts. I could eat nuts and trail mix all day. I don't know if that's a body need thing, whether I'm substituting it for so since I'm not eating the fat in the junk food, I'm eating the fat from the nuts. Got you.
Yeah, it is. It's crunchy, right?
Yes.
And that plays a role in our head too. We love a good crunch. We love it, right? I'm not
Yes.
responsible with them, dude. I cannot have them they're in my house right now for my lifting protocol, and they're actually Ziploc bagged individually because I'm only supposed to have like 12 of them with each of my meal, and they're individually packaged and put away. Like, an old me, even me a few years ago, would go through more than one package. It doesn't fucking matter how you package it up. But I have to be really strategic about it. But that didn't, I couldn't bite off what I'm doing right now if I hadn't started where I started years ago. So
Okay.
so
All right.
I would just stop buying them in bulk. That way.
Okay. Because I get them, yeah, and a thing of sunflower seeds because you got to crack them in your mouth and spit out
Yes.
I could like forego a meal for the day, like forego meals for the day, and just sit there and crack on those sunflower seeds all day.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what is my obsession with nuts? So I guess that's in my head, right?
And it's also energy bursting, right?
Okay.
So it feels like that's why I think a lot of people who have ADHD chase like a crunchy feeling is because they're like releasing some sort of energy at the same time. Because
Gotcha.
it's usually like I bet if you, Darlene, like maybe don't do this, but like if you were to take and move those sunflower seeds away and instead you brought a bag of carrots next to your desk, you'll probably still power through that too.
Gotcha.
It's that crunch. It's the fucking brain looking for a massage. Instead, you should probably just take a break from whatever you're doing and go like
Okay.
reset.
Perfect. I can see that. I'm gonna try it too as an experiment. But yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Okay.
see how many carrots you go down with.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear. All right, Renee, go for it.
Sorry, I was trying to come off mute too. If I could add a quick tip that helped me with the nuts, I get pistachios in the shell because it slows me down. Measure them out and
Yeah,
keep
takes
them in the
longer.
shell because yes, it slows me down and tricks me into thinking I had more than what I would normally eat if they were shelled.
Yep.
So that's helped me because yeah, I love cashews and pistachios and almonds, and I will just go to town on those. So I wanted to add that because that was a struggle for me too.
Thank you for that. Go ahead with your question, dear.
So I'm kicking my own ass constantly because you've said so many things that have just resonated with me especially about being a perfectionist. I know what to do. I know what to do. I've seen you talk about maltodextrin. You talked about the sweeteners. When I use the sweeteners, I use it once a day in like those coffee syrups. Like I use 1 to 2 pumps, like that's it. But where I'm struggling is I had surgery March of 2022. I was down 127 pounds from 328. So I was so close to Wonderland. And I was at a toxic job that I was completely depressed. My husband had surgery too. We were going really good. He's down 145 pounds. Like, yay him, right? Yay me. And things got really bad at work. And then I started a new job where my schedule, because of training, has been inconsistent. I'm working much later than I used to. And I'm struggling because now I'm not the person in charge of meals. And everyone out there, the dietitian at my bariatric office is like, hey, just meal prep. But I'm struggling so hard with that, with my schedule, with, certain meats not reheating very well. Like I like chicken, right? But
Yeah.
chicken doesn't reheat very well. Like it gets tough and
I would just eat it cold, but yeah.
Yeah, all the influencers out there that they tell you to follow and stuff like that are like, oh, air fry it. Well, how long do I air fry it so that it's not a dry hockey puck?
Right.
And so like, how do you meal prep when everything is turned upside down from what it used to be when you were on track and now you've gained 20 pounds?
So the reason you're not meal prepping is because you don't have the time. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't like I probably could find the time.
Yeah.
But because of how everything was in this last year for me and kind of just turned to shit, I'm finding the motivation hard because of the mental health stuff that I go through.
And, you know I'm not eating enough. Like, I know I've gained 20 pounds because I'm not eating enough. And then other people in the house cooking, and it's not what I should be eating.
So I would have a discussion with your spouse first. I mean, he knows you had the surgery, right? And say that you're going to need some help and support if he can participate in that, right? I had a client do something a couple of years ago. Craig, him and his wife, they hired a teenager of all people to come over to their house on a Saturday for I think $30 to prep their food. Like they just made them do like the bare bones stuff that they didn't have time for. Cut up their vegetables, like cut up their lettuce, like just like like they would have them like prepare shrimp, like just the person was there for like an hour, maybe two.
Yeah.
And like they were like that was like our big game changer and wasn't spending a ton of money to do it because obviously I think even if you try to go through a meal prepping company, which there aren't really any good bariatric ones, unfortunately, but if you try going through a meal prepping company, those are very expensive. You're paying $10 to $15 for a meal to microwave it. That's like really adds up. So that would be one thing to look into if it's just a complete I don't have the time. If it's a motivation thing, like I'm not a big believer that we just have motivation. We don't.
Right.
What we have, I think, is just a grit problem, right? Like doing stuff that you don't want to do. That is the story. Like any book we read or movie we watch that's inspiring, it's because they're doing things that we don't think we can do. Right. And like that's not necessarily true considering whatever the circumstances of what they're doing is. But like for me, what I'm doing every day, I'm nothing special, dude. Right.
Yeah.
I had to get up a little earlier today. I had to be up at 5 this morning to make sure I could get to the gym by 6:30, get home and showered and dressed and had my second meal before I got on my calls. Like, I have to plan my day. I live and breathe on a calendar today. Live and breathe everything. I know exactly where I need to be when I get off this call. I know exactly where I need to be after that because I get lost all the time. I get lost. I get lost on the fucking phone. I get lost in conversation. Find me a good documentary, I'll check out and binge the whole thing. Like, I get lost and I need every ounce of direction. I need a roadmap for my whole day. And I also need to tell myself that if it doesn't go perfect, it just means I like got a little piece of research done that says this is a place that you can tighten up, Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because it pisses me off because I'm going to be moving into a more regular schedule, so hopefully I can cook soon. But it's just like I make excuses for myself of like why I'm drinking protein powder in my coffee because that's the only way I'm going to get some protein in. And like I know that that's true because I'm not going to get up early and cook a whole meal.
but this is the thing when people say this about the protein powder thing. Fucking taking like some Greek yogurt or even cottage cheese and spooning it onto a fucking plate takes just as much time. Right?
Yeah.
The real thing is that the fucking protein shake is going to taste sweet. And that's really where the dilemma is.
Yeah, and I don't even like the sweet anymore. Like I can't even stand how sweet stuff is anymore. So I'm like, I hate everything. I get unflavored protein powder now. Like, and if I use, like I said, a coffee syrup or something like that, it's so little in comparison to like what these folks are out there putting on TikTok, of like 500 pumps, and you're like, holy crap! Like I could never have that much.
Right.
And it just like I just feel stuck, and I just like want my mind unstuck right now.
Well, my favorite question to ask people is, are you in enough pain? Because if you're not in enough pain, you're not going to do anything different. That's just reality. We all had bariatric surgery because we found our pain point. We were willing to go under the knife and reroute our anatomy.
Yeah.
Because we were in enough pain. A lot of people, the definition of pain is different for everybody. We all react differently to pain, right? When you're tired of your own storyline, you'll change. When you're tired of saying, oh, not another day, or like, I don't want to do it, or tomorrow, like, because we're classics at it, but you got to find that pain. That pain's a tough place to find because sometimes I say this to you guys and you look like deer in headlights because none of you guys are like, I mean, granted, I don't know most of your backgrounds here, but none of you guys are talking to me from a fucking street corner right now. You all got houses, right? Majority of you guys got spouses. Majority of you guys got God, like, or not God, you got a spouse, job, right? You have the like necessities that qualify you as having your shit together, right? But like when I look at an addict in recovery from drugs and alcohol, their pain point, they don't have those things and they're willing to do whatever they can to get those things. You know, I mean, none of us on here are sucking dick for Taco Bell, right? Like, and if you have, tell me the story because I'm here for that. But none of us are doing that shit, right? Because we think we have everything together and it's just a little lack of motivation. We've actually found and unlocked the easiest way to skip dealing with a hard life by choosing our food choices, right? It's so easy and it's so socially acceptable. And it's like we start telling ourselves it's just like a me problem. I don't have the motivation for it. Like it's so much deeper down there. Like it's just maybe we don't want it enough to do it. Like I hate to say that, but and I don't know your situation strong enough, Renee. So I say this in a more umbrella scenario.
No,
not
you're fine.
you.
I'm not
But
offended or anything, and if and maybe I need to be offended.
but like we think we have it together because 45% of society is obese. Just starting with that number, obese. We're not talking about morbid obese, which is where majority of us are or were for surgery, right? So you walk out the door, everybody looks like you. If I walked out the door and my neighbors were all like binge drinking and doing lines of cocaine, I would assume that's the norm, right? Because that's what you do, and that's how I get warped into that. It's dealing with our food addiction, which I think is really the big mask most of us have going on, and we bottle it up and we say we don't have the time, that the spouse is unhelpful, we have too many children, or God forbid, those of you guys who are single females, you're probably the most difficult. Like fucking the amount of excuses for people I work with who don't have kids or a husband is asininely like just through the roof, you know, because it's a me issue. It's an I self of me, like the ism, like an alcoholic, you know, to have alcoholism, right? The ism, the I self in me, my story is that bad. Nobody else, like I can't do it because of these reasons I've created, right? But why do we have those reasons? Like, do we set that same fucking hard boundary with the job? You know, if we don't, then like, why does that have one standard and at home doesn't? If we don't have conversations with our spouses about what we have going on and how we're feeling, how are they supposed to be helpful? And sometimes the addiction doesn't want us to fix those things because it's having too much of a good time with what we're currently up to. Right?
Yeah.
So, all right. Enough of my
That
TED talk
helps.
there. All right.
No,
Cynthia.
thank you, because now I think I do little things, so thank you.
Yeah. Cynthia, go for it, dear. I'm not sure if Cynthia's still there. We might have to come back to Cynthia.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, there's a different Cynthia. We had another Cynthia up there with their hand raised, but you can go for it, dear.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh,
That's me on my phone.
Fair enough. All right, go for it.
Sorry. Okay, give me one moment. Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I had my surgery 2 months ago. Actually, it was exactly 2 months ago. And the thing is, I feel hungry all the time. It's so weird. I mean, I thought when I had the surgery, I thought it was gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna be I mean, I'm not gonna feel that hunger because they told me that the um I guess the part that produces the ghrelin gets removed.
Yep.
But I don't know. I mean, is that normal or?
So it does remove, but it's not like forever. It comes
Okay.
back, and that hormone doesn't just live in your stomach. It lives in your first intestine too.
Okay. Yeah, because
Okay.
I was feeling hungry. I mean, as soon as I got out of the surgery.
That might be more along the lines of inflammation, which can mimic hunger on the stomach. But what are you eating?
So basically, right now what I eat every day is in the morning I have cheese, I mean cottage cheese, like a serving of cottage cheese and bacon. for lunch, I have 2 slices of cheese and 2 ounces of turkey. And then for dinner, I always have like half a chicken breast and then veggies. And then I do have
How many
a
calories?
yogurt in between.
How many calories?
Like 160 is one of those ratio yogurts.
Okay. So I would get rid of the ratio because it's going to have an artificial sweetener in it.
Mhm.
And I would start off with more protein with breakfast. Okay. 20
Okay.
grams. And I would be careful on how much fat you're consuming. Cheese is not the most ideal fat, right? It's not. Fat should be more along the lines of like olive oils, salmon, having maybe some grass-fed butter you cook something in. You know, fats do bring our meals together, but we usually are the kind of people who just eat cheese to eat cheese, right? And when you see how much and cheese is addictive. Didn't we just do a whole fucking call on cheese a few days ago? Cheese has something in it called casomorphines in it, which, does that word sound familiar at the tail end of there? It hits the opiates center just the same way as drugs do. Not nearly as much. It doesn't come in like with like a fucking bat to the head, but it's enough to give us that comforting. Like, has anyone had cheese and been like, just feel like a slight sense of comfort food? Like, that's that same buzzing of an opiate, right? So they can be really addictive. You can eat a lot of cheese. And I mean, I think everyone in my program is guilty of having a bit of a cheese problem at a certain point.
Yeah,
Right.
I love cheese.
I mean, I'm from Wisconsin, girl. Fucking love
Yeah.
cheese, right? And now today it's an accent, right? It's an accent. It's not the showstopper. It's not the opening act. It's an accent to anything I'm eating, right? When I have
Yeah.
it. So,
Yeah.
but
Oh, sorry.
no, I was just say, so I would start with the breakfast, 20 grams in the morning, and get rid of any artificial sweeteners. Okay.
One of the things that I was telling my doctor is that I don't like eggs, and a lot of things that I see is like, oh, eat eggs, eggs. I cannot eat eggs. I mean, that makes it
Then
like
don't eat them. Don't eat them. I
yeah.
got girls here who don't eat. I got girls who don't eat eggs, and I got girls who can't eat eggs. They have some sort of allergy to it. They don't. There's not at all. And if you
But
can't have dairy, like there's someone else here in the chat about dairy. Like, this is where something like the recipe fix makes life super easy, because it will ask you things you cannot eat and then adjust accordingly there too.
Okay.
Right. So, I mean, I don't have eggs very often. I haven't had eggs in like 2 weeks. So I do, most of my mornings are yogurt.
Yogurt. Okay.
Yeah. I just make it myself. Not very exciting about it. Like, I don't wake up and be like, oh, thank God. Most of the time I'm like, fuck, I gotta eat this fucking thing to go to the fucking gym.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and then also I started going to the gym. I'm just doing 3 miles on the treadmill right now because my doctor said that I can't really like lift yet.
yeah, I would stop that right now until you're a little bit further out.
Yeah. So
That's also
stop.
going to cue you to be hungrier.
So stop
Okay.
going to the gym?
I mean, if you're getting on that treadmill and you're getting your heart rate up, then yes. Because that's going to cue you to be hungrier. Your body's going to say, oh, look at us go. We need more energy to do this. Respectfully, the reason that I have like a 250 calorie, 300 calorie yogurt bowl in the morning every morning is so I have the energy to successfully do the things I need to do at the gym.
Yeah.
That's why, right? And early post-op is such a common mistake we hear. We're too much working out and not taking in any food, or not taking in the right amount of food. So I would definitely pull that back, because that could also be why you're hungry. Your body's cueing you to eat more because you're working out.
Yeah. I'm doing like 3 miles every day on the treadmill.
Are you walking or running it?
I'm doing like a little bit of jogging and power walking.
Walk. Just walk. Yeah.
Because I signed up myself for a 5K for
walk
October.
it until you can take in more calories.
Okay.
When I got into running at 7 months post-op, and I had to go from like 1,000 to like 1,200 calories up to 1,600 to learn to run. Right. So you just need to give yourself the appropriate amount of energy. When our surgeons tell us that we're cleared to work out, we misinterpret this as statement. They're saying that you're physically fine if you start doing it. It does not necessarily mean it's going to benefit you. Right. And and we all go jumping for the gym. It's so common. I'm sure there's other people who can say this in the chat, you know, like as soon as I started working out early post-op, things slowed down. Early post-op. There's a common problem we see. So
Yeah, and I've noticed that because okay, so I started at 286 when that was my first appointment with my surgeon. Then surgery date, I was 260, 268. Right now I'm 247. And that's 2 months. I mean, I haven't like lost or
that's
gained.
like what, 20 pounds?
Yes.
Yeah, 20 pounds in 2 months, no math, success. None of us have lost 20 pounds in 2 fucking months on like without weight loss surgery or doing something sketchy. So I think you're doing pretty well. So don't beat yourself up over it. You're just hungrier because you're working out.
I don't know. I just feel like I see like in like groups, like Facebook groups, I see people losing like 30, 40 pounds.
Don't pay attention to them. You don't know them. You don't know their circumstances. You don't know if they're being honest.
Yeah.
Okay. You have no idea what the fuck they're doing. You don't know what their starting weight was. The starting weight was 500 pounds. They sure as fuck better have lost 40 pounds in the first 2 months. Right? Like you can't compare yourself to them at all.
Yeah, and that's what my husband was saying. He was like, "Oh, comparison is a thief of joy," or whatever how you say it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you know what, you're right, but I mean, it just feels weird. I mean, that I don't know. I just feel like I should be losing a little bit faster.
I
But
think you're
but
doing
you're
fine,
right.
dude. You've lost 20 pounds.
Yeah,
20
you're
pounds.
right.
20
Yeah.
pounds. Don't like it took me 11 months to get to my goal weight. And really, when you average it out, it was less than 10 pounds a month I lost. That was it. That was it. And I stalled a ton after like month 3 and 4. I was just losing like once a week and then 3 weeks, no movement. Right.
Yeah.
So, all right.
You're right.
I know. Stop working out so much. You need to get rid of the artificial sweeteners. Okay.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right, before I jump into April, who's just been sitting there so calmly and waiting for her turn, I'm just gonna, at the halfway mark, was gonna talk about our program. I'm gonna try and do this, guys, in less than 3 minutes. Someone time me. I'm gonna share you my screen. I'll walk you through our program. And then I'm also going to give you, well, I'll just explain it. This is what we do here. This is what our program looks like. We work with you every day. This is not a fucking once a month Zoom call. This is not a weekly check-in. This is a once a day program. All right. When you join the group program, we split you up between pre-op and early post-op, and those of you guys who are over 6 months post-op, so you're with other people who are going through the same struggles that you're going through. Our enrollment right now ends on the 29th. Group call intake is August 31st. We do meet with you every single week on camera. It's either with me, Nicole, or Danae. We kind of bounce you back based on what you have going on. The beginning, it's always with me because we're talking about food. When you're ready to work out, it goes to Danae. And when your brain feels broken, you go to Nicole. Okay. But me and Danae are both available over text 24 hours a day for anything and everything that you need. At the beginning, it is always food questions. Should I buy this? What do you think about that? But then we get to the juicy stuff, which is I feel like doing shit I shouldn't. And we're starting to create some friction at that point. Because a lot of the times when we're thinking about eating something, are we talking to anybody about that? Or is it all in our head? Right? We say, I'm going to have a few bites of something. And then we're like, but I want to have more and I won't track it, or I won't, you know what, fuck it. Today's Saturday. I'll just start over on Monday. Like if we can start to take those words out of our fucking brain and out of our mouth and bring them to real life. If you even turn to your partner and said, I know I shouldn't eat that, and it keeps calling my name, he would support you in that moment, but we keep it locked up here, right? So you need to reach out to Danae and I anytime you feel like making things that don't make sense. Because I want to get to the root of it, because it has nothing to do with the food. It's not like, should I have that crumble cookie or not? We all fucking know the answer to this question, right? But why? What is it that you want that crumble cookie to do for you? What is it that you do not want to feel in that moment? That is what we need to get to the bottom to. We take you through a 12-week lifestyle program. We give you a bunch of tools to start utilizing. We build off there too. If you have a really shitty diet right now and you join our program, we're not going to pull everything away at once. We're going to take stuff out. We're going to bring stuff in. We try to get it done over about 4 weeks. We start with breakfast, everybody's favorite. We start with getting breakfast in, then we work on taking certain foods out, bringing certain things in. And we do not do meal plans here because that's not real life. You need to fucking put meals together by yourself and not rely on a grown up to give you a handout. Okay. We all know what foods need to look like. We're always constantly looking to find that shortcut. How do I put that thing in? How do I still have cake? Like we need to figure out why we feel that way. Right. The groups are limited to 12 people as well. So they tend to become close. What you put into it is what you get out of the groups. Okay. We've had like groups meet in person. Groups continue to have their call times. We have a couple of groups with separate WhatsApp channels about various things, like just all sorts of cool shit happen. We do our best to integrate you guys to get to know each other. Okay. We do look at your food logs every day too. They are reviewed every day. You're given feedback every day. You killed it. We could have done this a little bit differently, or if you totally went off the rails and you didn't communicate with us prior, we obviously reach out to figure out what the fuck that was all about, right? Everything is a learning lesson. There is no perfection. It is just constant progression. I measure perfection, if you want to call it that word, or you doing things better based on how fast you get up when you fuck up, and not making it until Monday to do it differently, not making it till next month. The next meal, we learned a lesson. We see that we don't do well in that certain circumstance yet. Let's grow from it. Okay. That's our 4-month program. So we're with you for 4 months for that. And right now our program does come with lifetime access to our community. You cannot be in the community if you have not done our program. That way it's very inclusive and that everyone's on the same page. We don't have like the oddball, like protein shake conversations and artificial sweetener shit. Like everyone's just trying to eat whole foods and address their relationship with food. Our community meets 5 times a week, 5 times, which is an asinine amount of times, but we are trying to change our life. And I think it's a huge discredit that a lot of our centers can maybe provide us with once a month. That is utter bullshit. And half of us can't even put it on our calendar. 5 times, first 2 calls, the huddle and the breakdown are recorded. Peer support's not recorded to reshare, just so that people feel really confident in what they want to talk about and what they're going on. We have 3 of those calls a week. You have access to years worth of those calls as well, as far as the huddle and the breakdown go. So you have this for life. This part of our support system never goes away. They have their own WhatsApp channel that you can ask questions on, that Danae, myself, Nicole, the rest of our team are active in. We're pretty much around for the whole kit and caboodle. Okay. So this program, let me just go to the last page and I'll wrap it up. This is the cost of our program. It's $2,749 if you pay in full. We have all sorts of ways for people to finance it today, and we try to make things work. We do take FSA and HSA as well. This is with you every day. I always want to like drive that home. Like, do not sign up for this program if you are not willing to try every day and to be called out on your thinking. Right? Because the excuses you guys got, man, I've got them too. We all fucking got them, right? We just power through them. So this is going to be unlike maybe anything else you've done. I know that we are the bread and butter of the health and wellness industry, that we have collectively made people bazillionaires based on products that we constantly purchase, which is why our program is a 4-month program and not like a monthly see you for the rest of your life. I want to give you the tools to move on and close the chapter where you used to be morbidly obese. And then you start to meet people who don't even fucking know you had surgery and don't even know that person, right? I do not want you to be on the nipple of having your food logs like that the rest of your life. That is just not reality, right? So we're going to lead you with all the things and then we're going to bounce. But you'll see us in the lifetime because we're there all the time for all the other stuff, okay? And we do have an alumni program as well for anyone who's in the first year, kind of going through the rocky stuff of like coming through the food changes, that they can transition to, but it's very small. I think, Nikki, we have like 5 or 6 people in our alumni. And right now we have about 130 active clients amongst our 4-month program. Just right now, I think last year we took about 800 people through it. This is our program. This is what we do. And that is the end of my presentation. Moving on. Okay. Next up, April. Go ahead. Oh, real quick, April, before you share, for anyone who wants to get more information on our program, this link I just dropped, it fast passes our application. Our application's kind of long, asks you a lot of questions. This will fast pass it. If you're like, nope, I liked what Shenelle said, or I want to hear more about what Shenelle had to say, just fill that out and we're going to get a hold of you this afternoon or tomorrow, just so you know, you don't have to fill out the lengthier application. All right, now go for it, April. Let's hear it.
Yes, thanks so much. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm 8 weeks post-op sleeve, and the challenge that I'm having is fluids, just getting enough fluids. Um, so one of the things that I heard your pitch about osmolarity, about
Mm-hmm.
water. That's the thing. Water was making me sick, and I was a person who drank 72 ounces or more before surgery. And so it was really hard for me to just like get the water down, and I was struggling. I do find that if I put something in it, it's good. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not binging on sweet stuff, y'all. I'm the
Yeah.
opposite. I'm the salty, crunchy girl. Like so, I could pass up any kind of sweet, but if you put a potato chip in front of me, all bets are off. So, um, the thing for me, what I'm struggling with is like, I sometimes have a hard time drinking even before um like noon. So
Yeah.
when I get up, I'm again another opposite where I have to have breakfast. Like I'm a breakfast girly. And so I get up and I was like, I want to eat. So I don't drink a full glass of water or anything before I've eaten. Because I'm trying to do that whole 30 minutes before, 30 minutes
Yeah.
after piece. It's like I literally had to ask ChatGPT at one point to like create me a schedule because I couldn't figure out the timing. It's so complicated. And I'm still early days, but I'm just curious as like, what do people's morning look like? I have two kids that are in school. I have to get them up, get up, and I have an hour commute. Um, and so I'm just struggling. I feel like April, it's not okay to wait until 10:30 to drink your first glass of water. Like,
Yeah.
how, how do I adjust a schedule? I'd love to hear what people's schedules are like so that like, okay, I always get up and I'm gonna drink a glass of water first thing, or
Yeah.
that's just where I'm struggling.
So right now at 8 weeks, the way you feel about water will be different 2 weeks from now, and then 4 weeks from now, and then 2 months from now, right? So I would just roll with the punches. As long, the 64 ounces is like the huge ultimate goal, right? Huge ultimate goal. If you can start it earlier in the morning, excellent. But I wouldn't like give yourself a hard time about it. Chances are, in a
Okay.
couple of weeks, you're going to be getting more in. Yeah, I
Okay.
wouldn't get too worried. It sounds like you're doing everything you can already. So just give it a few more weeks. It will pass. And there's a bunch of people on this call who can tell you that they could probably eat and drink if they wanted to. So all the things can happen again. Everything can be temporary, including the weight loss with this thing.
Okay. Yeah, because it just feels like as a person who used to get up and drink, I mean, it was very easy to get up
Right.
and drink a glass of water and whatever. Um, I mean, I'm trying on my commute because usually I've like eaten and then I'm getting in the car, dropping the kids and whatever. I try to like, okay, in 30 minutes I can start drinking, and then I
Right.
have my drink ready. But it's so challenging, and I
It
can't
is.
stand that.
Remember, my surgeon said to me, this is a full-time job. And I was like, I didn't know what
Yes.
that meant until the other side of
Yeah.
it. Exactly.
Okay. Well, then I will stop beating myself up, but I'm
Yeah,
like,
don't give
I
yourself a
want to
hard time.
drink more.
You're gonna
I
get there.
can't.
You're gonna get there.
Okay. Okay.
All
Thanks.
right. Haley in Plano, Texas.
I was just finding the unmute, and I
Oh,
apologize
good.
if I sound awful because I'm down with COVID today.
There's so many people in our community. I talked to 3 girls yesterday with the fucking COVID in our
Yeah.
just in our little world. So it seems to be going around.
Yeah, I probably got it from one of my students. So I started at 289. I got down to 225. I'm back up. I got back up to 245, and now, probably partially because of the COVID, I'm back to 239. My question was, because I know you've been saying no artificial sweeteners, no artificial sweeteners. I've never been able to do artificial sweeteners. They're a migraine trigger for me anyway.
Okay.
What sweeteners do you recommend? Like, are you okay with stevia, monk fruit, allulose, or
So I always ask this question, what do we want to use it for?
like a water flavor? Or right now I'm drinking electrolytes.
Yeah. I would try for water, I would try something like True Line.
Mm-hmm.
True Lime. Doesn't have any artificial sweetener or natural sweetener in it. It's just crystallized lime. They have True Lime, True Lemon, and True Orange. Don't do True Lemonade. That does have sugar in it. I would use those three. For me, I very rarely use any of this stuff because to use it means I'm trying to make something that I probably shouldn't be making. This is a chenille issue. Okay. So I'm like having a couple of clients over for dinner tomorrow night, and this avocado mousse that we make for guests is sort of this notorious thing in our community. So I'm making our avocado mousse, and I make that with maple syrup, right? And I have it maybe once every other month. It is not like a regular staple, right? And that's why I'm always like so hesitant to say like, yeah, go ahead with allulose, because as soon as I get off this call, someone's on Amazon buying a big old package of fucking allulose and looking up 10 ways to make fucking brownies and cakes with it, right? And that's like counterproductive. Like what we're trying to do with it, like what do we want out of it? We want something to be sweet. Why do we want something to be sweet? Right? If you can get to a place where you can use maple syrup and honey in its natural state occasionally, better off. But most of the time, we run to our keto history, which is mimicking weird shit with artificial sweeteners or monk fruit. And monk fruit and stevia, because I saw this in the chat a lot, you have to check the back of the label. Some of them have erythritol on them, and they do not say that on the front. It will say stevia in the raw, and we trust it. We flip it over, and the big old fat lie with erythritol right there on it, right?
I've had the migraines to prove
Yeah.
that. In fact, right after my initial surgery, and people have to be careful in this, I had purchased some protein soups to have like in the post-op emerge immediately, and didn't realize I drank one of them and had a massive migraine, and they used, believe it or not, sucralose in the soup.
Was it a
in tomato
bariatric
soup.
promoting one too?
Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly which one. I think I know what you're talking about. Was it injury?
No.
No.
It was from Bariatric Pal.
Bariatric Pal, yeah. Dude, I can make fun of Bariatric Pal. Is it Bariatric Pal? The one when I went to ASMBS, all of these Bariatric Pal, Bariatric Advantage, Celebration, they all had these incredibly elaborate and very expensive presentations there. And I cannot help but to make fun of this one. Let me pull it up. Totally going off topic for a second, but the marketing person that was behind these guys, like what was the idea? Like, can we put everybody's fucking Sims character on the fucking label? Like, what in the motherfucking god is this?
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't understand the marketing. How like it looked like a teenager built it. I don't fucking understand it. But they had rows and rows of this image everywhere, everywhere, and it cracked me up. So just to make fun of that, but a lot of them do. And when we were there, Ashley and Danae aren't on here, but because they were there with me. But when Ashley and Danae like went up to a lot of them and was talking to them and having conversation and asked about certain artificial sweeteners, they do not care and do not get it. They were like, what do you mean it causes you to crave? Like no one's even presenting this as like a possibility to them, even though there's very good research today to say it. You know, their study in March about sucralose being a 17% increase of hunger when you consume it. You know, once again, are we going to get on a plane that has a 17%? No. And is the same like immediate result consequence there? No, but if bariatric people don't just have this once now and then. Like, this is our diet. It's down into our fucking vitamins, man. It's like, it's in our water. It's in everything we eat. And it's just like we pushed on it so much. But to come back to your question, allulose, study-wise, still new to the market, shows to be the best out there. Be smart on how you use it. That's it. If you're going to cook a home hearty meal and you want to like, you know, roast up some carrots and throw some rosemary on them and you want to drizzle a little honey, go for it. I think that's better than making some of the Franken concoctions that half of TikTok is currently doing right now. Bariatric or not. I mean, even anyone who thinks about looking up keto, you just see these things that are just like, what the fuck are you doing? Right.
Oh, I had a real surprise because I had been recommended to use prune juice for, you know, post-surgery. And I had a really nasty surprise of a migraine because of the natural sorbitol in prune juice.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. So you really have to look, and it's depressing. It's depressing when you realize like every fucking thing you buy has some fucked up shit in it.
Well, I mean, I've been reading ingredients for years just because of the migraine trigger.
Yeah. Yep. So some people definitely have some negative reactions to it immediately, and that's definitely one of them for you. So hopefully I answered your question there, dear. Allulose out of all of, I mean, monk fruit and stevia if it's truly in the raw. All right,
Okay.
Rachel, go for it. And just for those wondering what I put in my coffee, it's almost always just milk. If it's anything else, it's milk and cinnamon. I don't use any artificial sweeteners in there. Rachel, are you there, my friend? There she is.
I am here. Hello. Hi.
Awesome.
Sorry, I'm at work, so I've been listening here. Okay, so I don't really know where to start. I've had a lot of time to think about my question, but I guess my this is more along the lines of like you've been talking a lot about the addiction factor. I am 3 years sober off substances and alcohol altogether.
Nice.
I can't get off the food. I had surgery July of last year. I've lost 120 pounds, and I'm kind of like I eat everything and anything. Like I'm not even on a track. Like I'm so far off the rails, it's not even funny. And a lot of like the fixes, like I like that this is a free program, but it seems like this is a rich man's surgery. And I don't know how else to say this. Like I don't like it's I don't know. I don't want to talk about my finances with a bunch of people I don't know, but it's probably better to do it with a bunch of people I don't know. But you know, yeah, like okay, judgment wise, it's just a lot of things that are recommended to me are really expensive, and I don't know how
Like,
to
give me
keep
an
things
example.
like therapies, nutritionists. Like I know I need the accountability aspect. It's really helpful for me. It helped me with getting off of substances. But I can't afford a lot of the things.
Then why don't you go to Overeaters Anonymous or go to Food Addicts Anonymous?
Does that really help people?
What did you do to get sober?
I went to AA.
Oh, there you go. I think you already know the fucking answer.
I feel like food is so different though, because you know, I don't know. I guess it's hard for me to. It's so similar. I know it's so similar. Like sugar is just as addictive as like cocaine, and I'm realizing that. Like I'm almost scared to go home if there's like not something like candy there, which is terrible. I know I'm the track that I'm on is like straight, like I'm going to gain this all back, but I don't know if I'm in like a honeymoon phase right now. I don't know really what my question is. I just wanted to contribute to the conversation, I guess.
Well, Overeaters Anonymous and Food Addicts Anonymous, I always like to say, like, that's not what we do here. Like in our program, we don't do a 12-step program, and we're not like finding a higher power and stuff. But if you went through, I'm in AA myself, right? And it took me a year of like being sober on my own bullshit to go into AA. And it was actually in AA that I really realized how fucked up my relationship with food was, because I was looking around and a lot of motherfuckers that say they're sober, like, get on weight. And they're eating the same thing that they were trying to drink away, right? So if you know, if you did a thorough fourth and fifth and you know where your problems lie, you're just using food now for them. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I've traded one thing for another. I gained over 100. I obviously lost a lot of weight when I was when I was using. That's the thinnest I've ever been is when I was using drugs, obviously. And it's such a mind F because people are like, oh, you look great, you know, and I'm in the lowest point of my life at that point. But I don't know. I think part of me, there's a lot of fear around it. You talked about like a fourth and a fifth. There's a lot of like, I don't want, this is my last thing that I have. and there's not so much of a stigma around, eating a bunch of candy in bed. Yeah.
There's not, but I mean, I had a client the other day who said to me, "Oh, it had to be easier to get off alcohol because you just lost everything," right? And the thing is, like, we have one body here, so you take this thing to a certain place, there is no coming back, even if you decide to quit, right? If you get a full, type 2 diabetes and you get a little bit older, you might lose a limb, you might be blind, okay? You might not be walking again. Right? We have a few clients here who are hospital bound and have had surgery and are still not walking. Like, that's how fucked up this disease gets for us.
Right.
And I think we watched like a TV show, like My 600-Pound Life, and they really kind of like circus show this whole thing. Like, but that is like where it goes. That show's been on for how many motherfucking seasons? How many people apply for it? How much of this population is actually of that weight is probably a lot higher than we think we are, because we don't see them in public, do we? Because they fucking can't get out the fucking front door. That's why we don't see it. Right? We can see an alcoholic any time of the day. We just walk into a bar. Right? But you can see somebody addictively eating. I see it all the time, man. When I'm out in public and I see some of the choices people are making, like, and I'm not here to judge them, but I'm human, so I've got my thoughts in my head, right? I'm like, what are you fucking doing? Like, I'll go down, I live in Vegas, I walk down the strip and I see somebody with the like yardstick, right? With her fucking gut hanging out, barely like striding, and then like some bullshit in her hand. Like, what the fuck? What are you doing, man? But because it's so normal and everybody else looks just like them, and that's just, once again, what we said earlier, when you're in enough pain, you don't want
Right.
and I don't want to discredit anyone who's on a revision journey, because I have seen revision people get to their goal weight. But the reality is that most people don't. 30% excess weight loss on a revision. That's the second opportunity, right? Weight loss surgery is the last stop on the block, right? Maybe if you pair it with a GLP-1, but those are also so fucking expensive if you don't have an insurance company willing to fucking point out for that. Your deductible is like $200, even with some plans, So it's all very expensive. But I think where your answer is. If you're 10 steps ahead of a lot of people on here right now who can't figure out what their problems are. If you've done a 4 and 5, you know exactly where they are. And if you go back to doing inventory every night, if you start seeing where your resentment lies, where you've been selfish, where you've been dishonest, okay, and then the reasoning behind all those things, the fears that coincide with those, right? All of our problems are on the heels of a fear. All of them. Those of you guys who are like, the scale's not moving and I have a fucking truckload of artificial sweeteners on my fucking counter right now, but I don't want to give them up. That's a fear. That's a fear. That's not a normal fear either. Like, none of us are thinking that about bananas on the fucking counter, but it's a fear, and I think that our problem is multi, and that the biggest one that we turn our heads to is that we just don't metabolize food correctly, right? So if you think about the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, you think about the doctor's opinion. That's where we're presented with the same idea, that we do not metabolize alcohol correctly. That's all the doctors can come up with. I wish more doctors would explain that to us with a certain combination of foods. We don't metabolize them correctly. And those foods that we don't metabolize correctly, they create an obsession. Create an obsession. It's all the same. It really is the same, because it's just substances, right? Alcohol is processed. Meth, processed, right? A Built Puff bar, processed. Premier Protein shake, processed. Okay? Anything that has that kind of processing seems to find a certain population that cannot digest it correctly, right? If I show up to your house with a bowl of sugar, you're not going to eat it, right? But if I show up, if I find someone who likes to do meth and give them, some carpet cleaner and a bottle of bleach, they're not just going to chug it. Like, there's a whole science experiment concoction to go with that, right? It's the processing. And it's not a Shenelle problem. It's not a Rachel problem. It's none of your guys is really, truly like embrace it as like some sort of problem with you. It's just a genetic issue. Like, there's something in our body that's like, I just can't handle that. Right? That's it. And it's easy for me when I start separating it like that. When I take Shenelle out of the equation. Because when Shenelle's in the equation, guess what else is in the equation? My self-will. I want to control. I can control it. I can have a little bit. But when I say it's not a chenille problem, it's a metabolism issue that you do not control. I have to what? Accept it now. I have to accept it, right? And
Yeah.
acceptance is what, Rachel?
The answer to all of our problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now everybody was here for a 5-minute AA meeting. Let's move on. All right. Thank you, Rachel. Chelsea. Chelsea Fickle. I don't see you on the camera, but I'm looking at your couch. Chelsea Fickle. We might come back to you. All right. Catherine Dennis. There she is. What's shaking?
Hi. So my question really more involves supplements.
Yes.
And how to deal with them. All the supplements I currently take are the pills are fucking huge. And they're uncomfortable to take now. And I'm pre-surgery. Pre-deciding absolutely that I'm going to have surgery. I'm still weighing that one. But how much worse is it going to be after I get, this tiny little sleeve of a stomach? So
what supplements are we talking about? Which ones?
So the big ones, literally the big ones that I take, are calcium and magnesium. I just found out I have osteoporosis.
Okay.
So
usually after surgery, they put you on a calcium citrate that is advertised as like a Starburst, and that's pretty much normal for every bariatric person for the first couple of months. You're gonna have to buy them like that, but then you're just gonna switch to a pill and you'll be able to get them down. I take a buttload of supplements a day for my specific needs, and there are some that drive me fucking crazy because of how big they are. Right? And it's just like a spoonful of medicine. I gotta put this shit down and move on. After surgery, though, there's all sorts of ways to get around it at the beginning, and then you'll just get used to it. You'll be able to get it down. Trust me, like you will. Don't panic about this one. Get off your private airplane into the future and come back down here, because these aren't problems. And until and maybe those of you guys who are post-op can relate to this, but until you've had the surgery, the way you thought before things were is totally different afterwards. Everything's totally different. You're we're over here because I know we're all a little bit of a control freak as well, and we're trying to plan and plan and plan and plan and just sometimes just let it happen, right? You might find you can get them down. You might be like, I didn't even think I could, right? Or you might find alternatives. And as far as your medication goes, usually your surgeon will do a good job of hooking you up with alternatives or connecting you with your primary if there's anything. The biggest mess that I think we tend to see, and Nicole can probably agree on this one, is mental health medication getting a little fucked with after the surgery. And so that's why it's important to make sure you're seeing your primary at the same time. So
is that something that the body will process differently once the weight loss hits? Is your I'm sorry, I call them my crazy pills. So that's kind of a terrifying thought.
Yeah, I mean, but they figure it out. I don't want to scare you. I think Nicole, don't we have 1 or 2 bipolar 2 clients right now who are early post-op?
Yeah, and I think just in general with mental health medications for those heavier hitter diseases that we're talking about, mental illness, eventually most people need a readjustment at some point in their life anyway, because your body just starts to get to a level of functioning and metabolizing. So it is good to just change up your medications, don't cycle through them frequently, but after long periods of time, if you've been on the same one, you're not going to have the same effect as you did when you first started taking it.
Yep. Yeah. So it will all change. It will all change. And I don't know what mental health things you're talking about, so this is a generic statement for everybody, but you would be surprised, once you start changing the diet, some things do seem to not be as strong. Our serotonin, for example, 90% of our serotonin is not in our head, it's in our gut. That's where it's produced. When you start changing the foods you eat and the way your metabolism works, some of those things subside. Dr. Weiner talks about this in his book, A Pound of Cure. He has a section dedicated to talking about bipolar disorder, and that the long-term goal is that the diet change and the weight loss change can also provide some shift in the mental health aspect of it as well.
That's great.
So yeah, party
Um,
time.
Yeah, and then I just wanted to throw out a suggestion that I do for the people who hate tracking, because I am also one of those. I have a whiteboard, like one of those little memo whiteboards that I keep on my fridge, and then I have a variety of colored pens for it. So I just put it on the counter and I write everything out for the day, and then at the end of the day, I just go and I log it all. So I'm not trying to like prep and eat and log all at the same time. It
Makes
just
sense. Yeah.
So that's just a suggestion I'm going to throw out for other people to
Thank
try
you.
that. Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Chelsea Fickle, you're back. We were hollering at you and you were gone. You're up to bat.
Hi, sorry. So I just had surgery 2 weeks ago, and I have been struggling getting the shakes down. My husband's dancing behind the camera to mess with me. So I spoke to my doctor, and he said that I could move toward the pureed. And I've been making my own stuff. I love to cook. So I'm a super big into whole foods and stuff like that. Like going into surgery, I was over 330 pounds, but not even like diabetic, because I have a really good diet. But they gave me these at the hospital, the bariatric pal you showed them earlier.
The Sims characters? Which Sims characters did you get?
God, and the ingredients, all of them are synthetic. They're not real, like from food. Okay, so I found some called, I think they're Ancient Harvest, and it's like a superfood multivitamin.
Yeah, so the ones I would recommend is the Swallables from Berry Melt and ProCare. The Swallables, any Swallable, you're pretty much going to be fine. It's only when they're the candy bits, in order to make that like that, they have to add that shit in there.
Yeah.
Right.
I've had problems with vitamins, or I'm on Prozac. I've had no problems with that. Getting medicine down. I have COVID right now. Yay to whoever
Another
had
one.
COVID
Another
earlier. I've had no problem getting my like Dayquil down and stuff. I've been a little scared of Mucinex just because my stomach is still healing. But I've had no issues with nausea or anything like that.
Okay.
So, as far as the superfood, like a superfood multivitamin, I compared the ingredients on this multivitamin versus the superfood multivitamin, and I'm thinking that it should be pretty good. I just want something natural. It's organic. It's non-GMO.
I would just make sure it's got the same types of vitamins in there. Because
Yes.
there are some things that bariatric patients need,
right,
that a regular multivitamin is not going to have. So I would have that conversation with your primary or your surgeon on that. But I do absolutely agree with you that a lot of them have the god awful worst fucking ingredients in the back. And it's so irritating that they have to advertise it to us as candy.
Yes.
Like that's what, I mean, somebody was sitting in a marketing room and said, you know what, the only way Chelsea's going to buy this is if we pretend it's candy. Like that's what they think of.
Yeah, and they sent me home with 100 different chews to try and all that stuff. And I just told my husband this morning, I said, just throw those out. I'm not gonna take those. I don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah.
You know, I wanna eat whole foods. I wanna eat things that are gonna nourish my body naturally. So it's
well, let us know. Come back to the Facebook group and let us know how that one works out for you.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. We've got 15 minutes left, guys. So I'm going to try and get to everybody. I am on like a hard call today because I have to go do our wedding tasting menu at 1:00 in downtown Vegas. And if you've never heard me complain about where we live in Vegas, I will tell you we live far the fuck away from downtown. Okay. Anyhow, Christiane, let's hear it, dear.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. I'm glad that you mentioned mental health. I have bipolar 1, and that was part of my question. So I'm 16 years post-op. I was at 330 to begin with, got down to 180, and I've put 50 back on. A month ago, I decided to get my life back together, and I started using MyFitnessPal. I don't use it to track, I use it to plan. So I plan out my whole day, and then I eat what the plan says, and I'm satisfied with that. But my psychiatrist was saying, oh, I should try keto. I guess they're starting a program at the hospital for people in the mental health clinic. and they're coordinating it with not the bariatric clinic, but all the nutritionists and all of this. And they're saying that there's an improvement in the bipolar, sorry, I'm trying to rush. Improvement in bipolar health with different diets. And so they're running a trial, and they wanted to know if I'm interested in the
doing it. I
in
would
doing it.
ask for a sample of what that looked like. Okay.
Okay.
What that means. Oh, and if it's from them, I'm gonna imagine it's like a really thorough diet, like keto diet. Most of us do keto like a fucking asshole. Like we just doing keto, like cheese and bacon. But true keto is going to be a different beast. It's going to be similar to the Mediterranean diet, okay? So I would ask for a sample of what that meal plan looks like. And if it's like, you know, it feels and looks solid, by all means go for it. Because I'm pretty sure that evidence of the keto and bipolar, I think that is accurate. Don't quote me on this right now, but I feel like I've heard this before. But I would do your own research and find out if that is the case and what kind of studies were done and like what the long-term outcomes were. If they have any follow-up studies on who was able to maintain that. But yeah, that's definitely an interesting one. Let us know how that pans out.
Okay, thank you, Shenelle.
Yeah, no problem. Tammy, what's up, Tammy? Oh, Tammy, sorry, I muted you as soon as you unmuted. I was trying to help you out.
Okay, so we mentioned this the other day, and you said that you would address it. So I'm just bringing it up.
Yeah.
Affordability in eating healthy.
Yes.
Girl, I think you need to talk to Robert Kennedy and get something going, because this program is something that nobody else has ever thought of. And if they have, they just didn't get off their ass and do it. You are helping so many people, and you need to get with the government that's doing good things and get this out there.
We're starting with just bariatric surgeons. That's been goal one.
We don't want the government monitoring us and our bad mouths over here.
No, that's what I mean. The good government. There are good parts in there. But yeah, this would be so amazing to be able to get out to everyone.
Yeah.
And like them taking the dyes out of stuff, it's not giving people the choice to have that bad part. So
right, but that's also an interesting, because most people don't realize that those dyes have until 2028 to actually be removed.
Right.
They have a lot of time. They've been banned, but they're still allowed to be in the foods, right? Yeah. Let's talk about affordability though, real quick. The one thing I like about the recipe fix, and I'm not going to say you have to go buy it to do this.
I got it.
But if you go in there and you tell it what you have in your pantry and your fridge today, so you can just make with what you already have. And then I'll reuse leftovers in the fix. So I'll tell the fix, like last night I made turkey meat, or I made taco meat last night. I need to repurpose it today. I've got X, Y, and Z. How can I do it? Right? Or I've got just some leftover sweet potatoes that were mashed. What can I do? So I never fucking have leftover stuff. We do not spend that much money at the grocery store. And we have like a family of 4 half of the week, or 1 week, and then just me and Daniel the other week, because we split custody with all of our kids. And when it's just Daniel and I buy cheap. I do Amazon delivery. I don't go to the grocery store very often because I'm not an intelligent person there. I just know this about myself. It doesn't matter how much I got my shit together. I make stupid ass choices. So I go online, I order my food. You can do this with Walmart. I get what's on sale. Whatever produce is on sale, I'm buying it. Proteins that are on sale, I'm buying it. I don't go in with a fucking meal plan. I get what's on sale and I bring it home and I put it in the fix. And then I make it from there. And that actually saves a ton of money. Because
I'm starting with the meal plan thing though, because I'm the one that never cooked. My husband does all the cooking and the carbs and blah blah blah. So this is all new for me. I've never ever logged, so I have a book, never used it. So this is all going to be new for me, and I'm like 2 weeks out from my 1 year. So
yeah, so don't panic. Just go to the store and get even if you go into the store, get a few things that are on sale, right? Fat, fiber, and proteins. Or a combination of that. Get some vegetables, right? You got some good olive oil at home. You get some avocados, portion correctly nuts if we're going to use them as an accent anywhere, some good fats, right? And then whatever proteins are on sale, snag them.
Okay.
Come home, throw it in the Fix. And you can tell the Fix is pretty good about, like, one of the things I like about the Fix is that if you don't use the Fix, you just go to ChatGPT and you say, hey, I have X, Y, and Z, what can I make? It will give you the most generic fucking thing on the planet. Because ChatGPT loves its hand to be held, which is what the Fix does. It says, give them something exciting, make it not suck dick, like make it fun, right? And so when you can put it in there, you can say, I like want something even more creative. Half of our weird ass recipes at home have come from me just like, how can I use this thing that I need to use before it expires? Like,
I know it listed like it gave me proteins and fruits, and individually it was awesome the way it set it up. It set it up a grocery list for me and like how to prep for 1 week, how that program is the way you did it is amazing.
Well, and it'll be when our app is done and you guys have access to the app, it's really cool there because the app will like be able to see what your macros have left and just make suggestion based on what you're regularly logging and regularly telling it you have. Another thing you can do with the Fix, guys, is you can just upload your grocery store receipt as well and say, this is what I just got from the store. This is what I added to my fridge this week. So
how do you do that?
Just take a picture of it.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yep. It's just AI stuff. I mean, just shit that's probably going to ruin the planet. But for right now, guys, figure out your recipes, okay?
It gets our way down, hey.
All
Thank
right.
you so
Thank
much.
you, Tammy. No worries. Wendy, go for it, dear. Oh, you're muted.
Okay, there we go. So first off, I am also in recovery for several years from cocaine and alcohol and marijuana. This food addiction is not at all. It's a beast. So I had surgery 2 years ago. I had gone from 232 down to 130. And then I had an adrenalectomy in January and I'm up to 145. But I'm also lifting, like, so I work out. Um, I work out like 3 to 5 times. I do weights a week, and then I do cardio almost every single day.
Okay.
I I am having the hardest time. My protein goal is supposed to be right around 130 grams. I cannot get it in. I don't know, like, yeah, that's my hardest thing is getting in the protein. And then I also have these times where I think, oh, well, I can just have like a Dunkin' Munchkin because, I just spent an hour lifting weights. That's the whole mind fuck thing.
Right. And think about how
For
easy that
sure.
thing goes down, right? That thing goes
Oh,
down
yeah.
real easy. So to answer the first part of your question about getting the protein in, expect your meals to take longer. My meals take me somewhere between 30 to 45 minutes today. I take in about 6 ounces in a sitting for my lifting thing. And don't copy what I'm saying, guys, because like some of you guys aren't in the position of doing the same thing, but I'm just telling you that like it is normal for it to take time. We don't want to eat fast either, because that doesn't make us feel very good. And if you have goals that involve wanting to lift and you have to hit certain amount of protein, if we don't have the right amount of protein, our body can't repair. This whole thing was for nothing, right? So let's try and spend more time eating, okay? And that's okay. It takes me 40 minutes every morning to put down that fucking yogurt bowl with oats in it, mind you, a half cup of oats in it, guys. Because somebody in the chat was like, I don't know how you do 20 grams of yogurt. Dude, 20 grams of yogurt and a half cup of oats. It's like concrete, right? It's like I'm putting down like a fucking Dairy Queen Blizzard that is not ice cream. Okay, it is just concrete, but it takes me a while to get it done, and that's all right. So I would start there. Second thing, the second part of your question about eating shit afterwards, that's just that validation in our head. We've all had it. You deserve it. You had a good day. You did the thing you're supposed to do. It's not a big deal, right? And that's not our normal voice. That's our little addict voice. right? That was the same voice that said, like, fucking chop me up a line. It's been a rough one. You know, like same voice. It just found a new outfit to wear.
Yeah, I think with me, like I know what I need to do. I just, and you said the fear and like using the inventory and all of that, and I have not done that. I need to do that. I have that fuck everything and run all the time in my head.
Absolutely.
I work a very, very stressful job. I work for the Department of Family and Children's Services, and some nights I'm out till 7, 8 at night, and I see some terrible, terrible things, and I eat my emotions. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see how much it'll
Yeah.
cost me for your program. I mean, if I
And
can
I think,
afford
you
it.
know,
I work for the state.
Nikki real quick can maybe so Nicole also works full-time in hospice, which is a very delightful place, as you can imagine. Just like a fucking raging party going on there. And Danae, our other coach, Danae still works full-time as an EMT IV tech. Both of these women see shit that my little ass over here don't ever see. Like I don't see or hear, like they share the stories with me, but like, you know, my like biggest trauma of the day is very mediocre bullshit. But those two have managed to figure out how to not eat that emotion and to live with it. And, I think that they're an incredible part of the program that we have here. So like, if you, obviously fill out the thing and hop on the phone with me, we'll talk about it. The one thing that she didn't, or might have said, because I went through it really fast, we do like an in-house payment plan too. We try to make it work for everybody. If I feel like you're going to show up and do it, we're going to find a way to make it digestible. So, we try our best here. But yeah, that's a common thing. And those guys, that's why we have all three of us, because all three of us have different journey and we bring different things to the table. And not all of us are identical, which I think is the beautiful part about this, because we're all very unique in the way that our body processes foods and the way that we obsessively think about foods. It's not all the same for all of us. So like the things I do, Nicole might not do. Nicole might have some things that Danae's not going to do. And that's, it's not one size fits all, which unfortunately is how most of us are presented, even from our bariatric center, a one size fits all sort of arrangement. Right.
Yeah, well, I'll be looking forward to hearing from you guys because
Yes.
I filled out the form to
Did
get
you?
in
Oh,
contact.
awesome.
So,
We will get a hold of you, dear. All
great.
right.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
no
for everything.
problem. Jeannie, is it Jeannie or Jenny? She's gonna tell me. She will as soon as she can unmute. Here, let me prompt it for you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I don't know what I did to my phone, but now you're on like speaker, but that's fine. I muted it somehow. Oh, there we go. There we go. So I am 20 years post-op since July. I was 280. I got down to 160. I'm 12 years sober. I gained a lot of regain with drinking. I'm up to 240 now, I think. I need a whole reset. But my question is water. So I've recently I was doing the circle water that has all that artificial. I kicked it. It's gone.
Nice.
But I am drinking water 24/7. Like, how do I not eat and not drink at the same time?
Well, being 20 years post-op, you've probably partied through that phase a little bit.
Yeah, a gallon of vodka a day will do that.
Yeah, I would imagine it would. I would go back to alarms and see if you go back to alarms and then you get back to eating, and then, if you can feel full, if you can feel like, I don't know, you won't know until you know. Some people can eat and drink again that far post-op. I don't know. We've got a couple of clients who are over 20 years post-op. I don't know if they're on this call. Mary Pitson, I saw you just come into the room, not to just like put you on the spot, Mary, but Mary, you had your original surgery like 20 years ago, didn't you? Oh, Desiree is 19 years post-op, and Desiree here too. Sorry. Desiree is a client of ours. Desiree, I'm gonna unmute. Can you unmute real quick? Do you find yourself eating and drinking? Has that come back?
So I actually did. I was really bad about eating and drinking at the same time. And then I was like, oh my God, why am I hungry again? Like I was struggling to eat this before. And then I saw your video and I was like, oh, dumb shit, like stop fucking drinking and eating like the doctor told you 20 years ago. And my God, even in this last 3 weeks, I'm down 10 to 11 pounds. I eat a lot less because I don't feel that hunger because my pouch isn't getting flushed and I'm drinking water. So it seems like a really big task. Like I struggled with it, like the thought, I'm like, oh my God, I want to have to stop, but it's not that big of a deal. You can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. It was a struggle of mine for a really long time, and I was able to do it. And yeah, I know you can do it. It's not that hard.
If Desiree can do it, you can.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Yes, please. And I had the bypass. So, you know, like I know, like Shenelle said, I'm sure I partied through it, and I'm living that life right now, trying to get back to it. And it's been great, the program, and yeah, you can do it. You can do it. It's not that hard.
Yeah. Yes. Awesome. All right. Thank you, Jeannie. Vivian. Are we there, Vivian? Vivian.
Amy, can you hear me?
Yep.
I'm like not great and savvy on the whole,
Zoom. It's all good, dear.
Yeah. What's that?
It's all good. Go ahead with your question.
So here's my thing, and I'm probably the worst one out here at this point from everybody else's situation. I'm 28 years post-op. The doctor I had was one of the first surgeons to ever do the Roux-en-Y. And subsequently, because of the way it was done, and because they never told me not to use ibuprofen, 3 years after my surgery, I got an ulcer, and they had to remove my stomach and create one out of my esophagus. That being said, my original weight was 405. I went down to 205, and then I went back up to I think 300. And at that point, my throat was restricting and I wasn't able to eat anything. So they stuck a balloon in there, blew it up like 6 different times. And you have to be awake when they do that, which is great. But that just had me gain weight again because they were just like, just eat whatever, you got to get something in there. Well, of course, that means stress eat or whatever. But recently I was 420. I have got myself down to 335, which is still an enormous amount of weight, but they just started me on these Wegovy shots, but they don't give you any kind of a diet plan. They don't tell you how many calories you should be eating. The bottom line is just eat half of what you normally have been eating. You know what?
Yeah.
I have been crappy eating my entire life. So I have avoided sweets. I've avoided my triggers, which are like pretzels and potato chips. They're not even in the house. And so I'm starting to lose again, but I feel like they just kind of gave up. Here, take this shot and, screw off, whatever.
Where did you get the shot from? Like a primary, from like a weight loss clinic?
Primary.
Yeah. You know what? I saw Dr. Eric Smith talk about this the other day, and he kind of hit it on the fucking head. He was like, he was comparing GLP-1s to lap bands, which didn't really make any sense initially. But he said the problem with the lap band was that we just started letting anybody do it. Any surgeon could do it. They could be their added like income thing because insurance wasn't going to cover it. So it's like you can make money by doing it. And now people are giving out these medications without any education behind them or any plan. And they're giving you no different plan than they would tell you than if you needed to lose weight in general without that, right? Our primary care doctors are, they're good. I mean, I've got a good one, but he's young and he hasn't been fucked by the system yet. But they're just giving out these like generic shit, man. And like these medications are still new-ish. I bet it will help you out, but you do need a plan. And the person that I see, we have a lot of GLP-1 clients, Vivian, who are not having surgery, or hoping to avoid that. So it doesn't really, once again, over here, doesn't really matter where you are on that part of the journey, but a lot of them come where they're not eating most of the day. And then when they are eating, they're looking for an emotion from the food. So they're making a piss poor fucking choice and no direction. And sometimes you actually don't need the medication once you have a whole foods diet in stow. Because I think what happens to us mentally, the food noise can turn off for some of us just by the food choices, and some of us will need GLP-1s. I'm not trying to knock them. They're like, absolutely, this is a complex problem, right?
Right.
But I would want to get that straightened. I would definitely want to, I wouldn't wait for them to fucking give you an answer on it, because they probably don't have an answer anyways. Like a primary care doctor has 41 hours of nutrition, and their nutrition study is different than what a nutritionist dietitian has either. Like they are more on the complex of understanding on how we digest and take in nutrition. Our dietitian, and a dietitian is a master's. A nutritionist is really funky in any state. Like in the state of Nevada, I could, with my functional nutrition counseling, I could say I'm a nutritionist. And I don't say that because I view it as someone who has to have a bachelor's degree of science in nutrition, which I do not have. Right. So you can see all sorts of people say they're fucking nutritionists and not actually have the actual certification. But a nutritionist is really looking to, in the bariatric world, is really looking to prevent any sort of vitamin deficiency. 5% of malpractice lawsuits in a bariatric center have to do with vitamin deficiency, and their job is to supplement it and to band-aid it, which is a lot of how Western healthcare works, is band-aid the problem, right? So I think going to a Whole Foods answer or solution doesn't require some fucking fancy letters behind your name. I mean, if it does, then we're all fucked.
Yeah.
Because most of us, most dietitians and nutritionists that I encounter through social media make very horrible choices, but and recommendations. But the ones I met at ASMBS, we're all just on the same page. Like, we need our clients to eat like this. We wish they would eat like this. We wish we could provide these resources. We can't. And some of the reasons they said they can't is my surgeon has this plan in place and we have to follow his protocol. And most bariatric centers, the plan that was created by the surgeon. So his pre-op diet, his post-op diet, it's not written by the nutrition normally. So that's just what I've come to learn. So I would make that transition, my friend.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
No problem. Letitia, go ahead and take us out. Oh, let me have you unmute.
There we go. I was gonna say you actually said it right. Most people don't. Mine, I guess, I'm frustrated at the moment. My original RNY was in 2015, and mine was more, I also had lupus a couple years before. So it wasn't, I guess, as big as you could say. Some people, a lot of people that have the surgery was clearly obese, but mine was more for mobility. I was 223. I got down to like 145 and then went up to I stayed at 150 for a while and then went up to like 180. And we moved, and in 2018, never saw a bariatric doctor, nutritionist after that, because the new doctors didn't think it was needed. Insurance didn't think it was needed. Last couple of years, it went up, and end of last year, beginning of this year, it went back up above 200, and I was done. My mobility's gotten worse. So what was it, July 29th, they redid it again. The new doctor, once we moved a second time, said, okay, sent me to the bariatric doctor, and did the endoscopy, figured out that my pouch was too big. The opening was too big. I had a hiatal hernia, and there was some candy cane looking piece off the side of the stomach that wasn't supposed to be there, that it was never done right in the first place. So it took, where I thought it was all yes, part of it was me and the way I was eating, but part of it wasn't, because it was never done right in the first place. But starting over has not been easy. So I'm pureed at the moment. Getting frustrated, trying to not to.
Are we just are we frustrated? We're like essentially starting back over again. Is that where it is, or is it the purees? Both very good solid reasons to be frustrated. So the PRAs are annoying as fuck. So both solid reasons.
Starting over.
Okay.
It's
But
just
I wouldn't be frustrated about it because it sounds like you got a second opportunity. Like you got a solution presented to you, and some people don't get a solution, right? You had, and we all go through for things in life that we don't necessarily get to know why. We don't know why this happened. I don't know why, like you had to have another surgery and why he fucked it up the first time. Like we don't get to know all these answers, right? And I think if you just embrace the new lease that you have and look at more as a positive than a negative, it's going to be easier to trudge forward. You know,
I'm trying to. I'm more determined. Not that I didn't have support before, but I had more consistency at home this time around. I guess my question was, I have an hour and 20-minute drive to work in the morning. So right now where I'm still on, I have my coffee in the morning, and I have try and do a yogurt when I get there, but I work special needs at a middle school. There's not really a sit down. I get barely a 30-minute lunch and then an hour and 20-minute drive home. So I've been meal planning every night for like the whole next day. I'm struggling with trying to figure out what to do for breakfast because I don't have because of my health, I need the extra sleep. Trying to drive that far, and I guess just I don't know. That's where
so
I'm
well, I wouldn't worry about the puree part because this is temporary. Right. But when you get back to eating regular meals, like, dude, I take my meals in the car sometimes. If I have to, I have to. It's like, is it annoying? Yeah. Is it ideal? No. But like, that's when it's going to get done. This is also why I just live on a calendar. So I can kind of plan and fold my meals into not ideally having to do that, but it's there if it has to happen.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Like
I know like one of the big things they said was like, and my husband and I was talking about it, make sure I'm sitting down at the table to eat, not like on the couch, focus on your food.
Yeah, like
and
the
not other
mindfulness
stuff,
of it.
but
Yeah,
then I'm
absolutely.
driving and not.
There's mindfulness, which is important. And it's not that you can't be mindful in that car. You can't turn the music off and the radio off and enjoy your meal and say that this is the time that I have to do this. Right?
Okay.
You can still be mindful. Right? There's mindful and then there's like logistics. Right? You gotta operate both together. You know,
Okay.
I think just bring the meals in your car. I've got these little containers and I just put them in the car and I do drive a self-driving car, which does make it slightly more helpful at times. But if anyone has a Tesla, it's not necessarily as self-driving as you want. That thing will harass you if it doesn't think you have your fucking hands on the wheel. So you can't just space out. But I mean, that might just have to be what you do. You know, might be. Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for everyone hanging out today. A couple of things. I'm going to drop the Fix link one more time. Is a code. The code is Fix in capital letters. It takes $5 off. It's only good for about an hour and 45 minutes from now. If you haven't bought it yet, everybody loves it. So I would just fucking do it, I guess. And if you do want to look into our programs, you saw me go over the pricing. You saw me go over the details. You can fill out the Fast Pass. We will give you a call this afternoon. Okay, this afternoon and get you enrolled. Our cutoff is the 31st or the 29th for this current enrollment that is happening. Yeah, once again, thanks for hanging out. We're going to do another one of these in about 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. That is our average around here for these workshops. And we will not be messaging back right now on our texting system. If you've been texting with us at the beginning of this call, we hit our capacity this morning. So anyone who's sitting in there, you'll hear from us tomorrow. Unless you wanted to move forward, we're just going to holler at you. All right. Have a good night or good afternoon, my friends. I will see you guys later. Bye.